Hello friends, in today's video I'm going to share a new add-on for you. So this add-on is a Google Sheet add-on. So the main function of this add-on is to handle the XML files. So the main purpose of this add-on is basically grab the XML attachment in your Gmail, and as add-on, we are going to parse this XML file and convert it to spreadsheet data like this. Basically, it's going to loop through all the text in the XML file and pull the data for all of this XML text and put them in the spreadsheet. Okay, so here, as you can see, this is the add-on sidebar here. And I give some description about this add-on here. So basically there is two core functions. First, you can grab the XML files from Gmail, and you also can import XML files from your local computer. Okay, so for this one, you can use it for test. All right, you can test your XML files and see the structure of your XML file. And once the test is passed, and you can try to create a trigger to run this daily. So the files in your Gmail will be put to this spreadsheet daily. Okay. So let me show you some configuration you can do in this add-on. All right. Here we basically have three settings sections here. So I have a trigger settings here, and I also have a Gmail query settings. And the last one is the setting for the XML. Okay, so let me go through this one by one. So for the trigger settings here is very simple, and because you need to run this add-on, basically this script by a daily basis. Okay, I only designed this for daily because I think this will be the most use cases. So if you'd like to run it quickly, weekly or monthly or hourly, I didn't do it in this project because it will make this trigger settings sections a little bit complicated. Okay, so keep it simple, and you can choose a time frame for when this trigger should be run at the day. Okay, so right now it's 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. Okay, so that's the only settings for this trigger settings. Also, you can enable or disable this add-on. So if you disable it and you save the settings, your trigger will be deleted. Okay, so if you need to use the trigger function, you need to enable this add-on and choose a time for the trigger to run. Okay, so that's all about the trigger settings. So the next one, it is about the Gmail search. Okay, the query basically is going to build a query to search the related emails in your Gmail. Okay, so here I have a subject, also have a from parameters here, and we also have a to, and you also can define other queries. So this is last query for your, just as you set the queries here, this is the final queries. So you can test it in the Gmail. So if I copy this and I go back to my Gmail and I put this string here and search, so you should see the result. So if you didn't see the result, you need to modify your query because here I set up nearer than 1 day So I will not see any result because I didn't receive any new emails with XML attachment. Okay, if I change it to maybe 3 days, I should get some result, I guess. More than 3. Let me try to remove this. I'm not sure if this can work here. Let me try. Maybe it's not in the inbox. More than 3 days. No. Okay. Newer. Basically, okay, so you cannot use it. You cannot use this nearer than 1 day here because I don't have any emails nearer than 1 day. So here, September, let's try to use it maybe 4 day. Yes, so I got one. So this one is sent from September 2020, so it's 4 days ago, I think. So it's nearer than 4 day. So I use this by default at 1 day because the trigger we're going to run daily, okay? So that's why always if you go back to the add-on here, basically we have 3 default query here. So the email should have attachment by default, and the attachment file extension should be XML and nearer than 1 day. So that means this email should received in 24 hours, okay, with attachment, and attachment has an XML file in it. And for other parameters you can assign a subject, a keyword in the subject, and maybe from somebody in your organization, okay? So, and also you can use other queries. So if you click this help button here, it will bring you to the Gmail search operators you can use in Gmail, okay? So basically, as you can see, so this is example for the from and the to. So all of these operators, you can use it in the other queries. But you also can, so if I didn't do subject here, you can use subject XML, just like this. This is also going to work the same way, just in case you need to do something else. So I didn't put all the query operators here because there will be a long form and long list of the operators. So you also can do label, something like this, okay? So that's all for the Gmail query settings. So after you set up your query, yes, you need to copy this and try a test here. So if you see the result like this, that means your query is set up successfully. So if you didn't see any result, that means if the script is runs, there will be no email thread found. So they cannot read the data from your Gmail account. Okay, so let's remove this and add a subject XML back and save it. All right, so that's all about the Gmail query settings. So let's go back to the last setting part here is about XML. Okay, so if you don't know XML, so let me show you. Let me open one file for you. I have a invoice demo XML file here. As you can see, I open it in the Chrome, and basically this is a structured data format. As you can see, at the very top we have invoices tag here. So all the data are wrapped in this tag, and beneath this invoices we have 2 invoice. Okay, so they have the same tag name as invoice, And under the same level, we have root tag 1 and the root tag 2. Okay, so this is added for test purpose. Okay, as you can see, under the invoice, you also have other nested tags. So if you'd like to get all of this data, you need to go through them layer by layer. So it will be a little bit hard to do if you do it manually. All right. So that's why we use the script to go through all of these tags and grab all of this information. Okay. So let me explain this. What are the settings about XML? So basically, the first setting up in this XML settings you can do is tags. Is a tag you don't want to pull the data from your original XML file. So let's say I have invoice PDF. So maybe this is a very large text raw data for the PDF file. So you don't want to pull the data, the raw data of the PDF file to your spreadsheet because, well, it will be a very long text. So you put a very long text in this spreadsheet cell, it may over the size of the cell. Okay, so maybe you don't want to have this tag here. You can add this tag. So let me copy this. So basically you copy this and put it here. Once you put it here, the script will going to ignore the tags in you put it here. Okay, so this tag need to have a full path of the tag name. Okay, so you have the invoice, and invoice PDF. So if you go back to the PDF file, so you have the invoice tag at the very beginning. So this is the root tag, and this is the second level is invoice, and under this invoice you have this tag invoice PDF. So you need to put a tag like this, because if you only put the invoice PDF, you may have an invoice in layer 2, have the same name invoice PDF in layer 2, or maybe under the PDF in another layer. So you need to do it like this. All right, I will give you a demo later. So right now let's just put 2 tags here. So if you'd like to get all the data, you just remove all of these tags here. Okay, and the second setting options for the XML is this repeat child tag in the root. So what this field is for, so basically if you go back to this demo XML file, you can see we have some repeat tags under the invoices. So basically it looks like a list of invoices. So you may have 100 invoices under this parent invoices tag. So if you don't do that, you're going to put all of these invoices in one line. So if you put this, if you put the name of the tag of the repeated tag name in here, we're going to treat you as a separate row. So basically one invoice, one row. Okay, so this is only works for the tags in the under the root. So that's why here I don't need to do things like this, because this tag is always under the root tag. Okay, so this invoice is always under this invoices. Okay, and right now I only support one here because normally it's structured like this. Okay, I will test it later so you can see the result. And the last one is to if you want to keep the old records, so you need to check this, because for some use cases you need to keep all the old data. So basically you keep tracking, you keep pulling the data from a Gmail daily, day by day. So you maybe needed to keep a record of the past data in your spreadsheet. So you need to check it. But if you don't want to keep the old record, you can uncheck this. Okay, so every time the script runs, you're going to clear all the old data and only put the new data in the spreadsheet. Okay, so that's very straightforward. All right, so let's keep it unchecked and save the setting. So all of these settings should work for both Gmail, search, and local import. Okay, so let's try to do the local import XML file first. So let's try to say I choose this one. All right, so I open it and import the data. All right, so the data has been imported here. So this is the file I imported. This one is invoice demo one. As you can see here, I start from the root tag 2, but if you go back to see the original file, I will have a root tag 1, but it's not shown in the spreadsheet. It's because we added it in the excluded text here. Okay, so if I remove it and save the change, and let me try to upload it again. Demo 1. What's wrong? I think something wrong with this file input. So let me try to reload this. There must be a bug here. I will fix later. No worry about it. So, okay. I import it again. I should have the root tag 1 here. Okay, now you have this root tag 1. Okay, so this explains these settings about the XML file. Okay, and this invoice is since we have one file imported and we have 2 lines of record for the invoice. So if I remove this tag here and save the setting, let's try to upload it again. It's not working. I need to refresh. I don't know why. So import, I removed this repeat tag here, and demo 1 import. And you should have only one line, because if you remove this, you're going to add all the tags in one row. Okay, and you should have 2 invoice number here. So this is the first invoice number. Okay, and you should have another invoice tag. Let me check. Okay, where is that? Where is the invoice number? Okay, so this is the first one, as you can see, and this is the second one. So if you have a repeat text in the under the root tag, you should I think normally you should do that. You should add the repeat. So add it back here and save the setting. Okay, so if I try to run this, you're going to search the XML file with this query and parse the data. with the same settings. So if I try to run it, you should not see any result, I think, because there is no email found with this condition, with this query, okay? Because I sent the data 4 days ago. So if I send the email to myself, subject XML, and let's grab the file. Okay, let's try to this one, invoice demo 2. Send it. Okay, it's sent, and let me try to copy this query again and try to search it here. Now you get the result. Okay, so if I try to run this again, okay, so you get the result here, right? And the last 2 columns are added by the script. You will have the file name, and you will have the timestamp for when this file is imported. All right. So if you check this and keep the old record and run this query again, as you can see, the record will be added. Okay, and you will have the old one here. You will keep the old one. All right. So basically, the header will be the tag name, and you will have the full tag name path in the node. Okay, so if you don't want to keep this this tag in your spreadsheet, you can copy this tag and add it to this excluded text here. Okay, so that will be easier for you to get the full path of the tag. Okay, and let me see if I miss anything. Okay, maybe one more thing I need to show you, because here I have attribute. It's not a tag, but it's an attribute in a tag. So you also can do it. This attribute will also be added as a separate, treated as a tag. Okay, so if you see the invoice number, it's not a tag. It's basically the invoice, and the number. Basically, this number is an attribute. So basically, if you don't want to get this attribute, you also can add this tag here. Okay. So you get all the tag attribute and the tag values. All right. So I think that's almost all the settings and the functions you can do in this add-on. So every time you save the settings, and this trigger is enabled, the script we're going to create a trigger. Let me go back to the trigger setup page, so you can see the trigger is set up for the project, and your add-on will run every day. Okay, so I just get into this script project, and if you click this icon, it should bring to the trigger setup page. You can set it up manually. Okay, so the function name will be the trigger function. Okay, and it's a day timer. So basically, this function will be run every day, and this is the time of the day you selected in the add-on. All right, and if you disable it and save the settings, this trigger will be removed. Okay, so Maybe another thing here about the sheet names, the tab names here. I didn't put them in this sidebar here. So if you need to change them, you can change it in the script. Okay, so this is a worksheet name for the XML, and this is for the local input XML data. Okay, I'm going to put all the data in the spreadsheet. So if you rename it and they cannot find it, and I don't know if they're going to cause some issues. Okay, so I think I spent a lot of time to explain this add-on to you guys, and I think that's a little bit long for today's video, and I don't want to explain the code a little bit to you. Okay, so if you are interested, you can go through the code. The code will be shared with you guys, and you also can find the code, the source code on GitHub. Okay, so it's in the branch 67. Okay, so the latest one, and you can check all the source code here, and you also can make a copy of the script to your Google Drive, and you will be able to use it. Okay, maybe I give you a very quick demo here. So let me close this, and close this. So this link will be also available in the description of the video. If you click the link and you need to make a copy of this file to your Google Drive, okay? So this is the copy of my original file, and let me try to, so once you have this new file created in your Google Drive, you should see a menu here called XML. Okay, no, let me reload. By the way, I didn't test the C data, if you know the XML file. So there will be some text called character data, so XML C data. I didn't test this stuff in the code. So basically, you may have text like this. It's called C data, and the text like this. I didn't test it, but if you have some issue with that, you can leave a comment below my video, and I will check if I can fix it. Okay, so I have the copy. So now you have this menu here, and for the first time, if you open it, and I'm going to ask you for the authorization, of course. So every time for a new project, you will do something like this. Advanced. All right, so I'm going to read the data from your Gmail and edit the spreadsheet and some other applications. All right, so once you've done that, you can open it again. Now you have this add-on opened successfully, I guess. So by default, as you can see here, this is disabled, and the subject is default to XML, and there is no from, no to. So this is default query. Okay, so you can change it here, and there is no excluded text here, no repeat child text here in the root, and you're going to keep all the old records. So you can do the settings from whatever email address, and you should be able to go and save it. You need to enable this, sorry. Okay, so Should be able to go. Let's try to upload the local file. Let's try to demo one. I think you can pick both. And let's try to pick both of them. Import. All right. So as you can see, since this is going to keep all the old record and I imported two of them. As you can see, the text will be different because I didn't I imported all the text. Okay, so this is the first one is old record, and with two excluded text, and for the new one here, we have included all the text. That's why for these two cells there is no values for the old record. So this is the old one. This is the new one. If you see the timestamp here, okay, so works fine. And I also need to let me check this and see the result. And try to run this query. I should be able to get the data. Yes, here. So everything just works fine. Okay, I hope this can help you. Okay. And that's all for today's video. I'll see you maybe next week. I don't know because we have a long holiday at the beginning of October, so I'm not sure if I can release a new video for the next week. So bye bye for now. Have a nice weekend.